Are we live?
We're live, but the music's not playing for me.
Oh no, the music. I thought we'd have to play our own music.
Boring. Life would be boring if we didn't have technical issues.
Oh yes, well, yeah. Well, I could have played a little something here. Anyway, I'm in my piano room.
As you can tell.
Yes.
Hey, you guys, everybody's here. There's some great comments going on in the room. Welcome to the Saturday morning live casts.
Morning.
My computer is moving so slowly. Am I frozen? I'm not frozen.
No, you're not frozen. No. You're good.
Okay, good. So I can't see the comments at the moment, but they were going like crazy. There you go. Who was the first one here? Let's see. It was Lynette Jester. You win the WikiTree Saturday live cast first on the scene winky button for the morning. Judy's here. People are talking about going back to sleep. Lynette, I hope you're still up. Brian tried to get here first, but he didn't. But that's okay. Hillary, snowing up in Wells, I hear. Let's see. Lisa. Hey, Lisa, do you have snow? I've got snow. Can you see my snow behind me? They're coming to get you, Betsy.
No.
Life in the big city.
The chat before the show this morning was all about the Connect-a-thon coming up the second weekend of January. People were talking about the teams they're on. Audrey Martin's here. Susie Carta is here. It's snowing in Minnesota again. Let's see. Mary Sleppy's here. Donna Gerber, Dee Dee, Hillary King. Erin Walker just walked in.
Yes.
Hello, little elf.
She likes my scarf.
Yeah. The snow is melting. Yeah. It's milder here. And I guess the temperature just dropped because the snow that's hanging off the roof behind me, you can see the snow hanging off the roof there. It's not dripping anymore. So I guess the temperature just dropped. It's been hovering right at 32. So I should show you my view. There we go.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. All right.
So
good morning, Greg. Over to you. Quick.
Over to me. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, we're switching things up today.
We're switching things up. Yeah. I have to play for a funeral, so I have to leave by 1:15 to get into town to church to do that. So I'm going to take the question of the week, which is so totally appropriate because the question of the week is all about what genealogy gifts are on your wish list. And that goes so nicely with the Secret Santa challenge and Secret Santa elves, which was officially open last week. So if you want to be a Secret Santa elf, or you want to put a wish on the Secret Santa wish list, there's still time to do that because we've got one more week still for registration for those things. Because this week, the WikiTree challenge is the Mariah Carey challenge. And I'm sure Meg's going to talk a bit about that at the end. So if you want to be doing some challenge work, it's the Mariah Carey one for this week. But the Secret Santa one starts officially next week. So we will not have a regular WikiTree live cast this time next week. We're taking December 24th off. However, I'm using that time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time next week to have our official kickoff with all of the elves. So anyone who signed up as an elf, and as of now, we have 78 elves signed up, and I believe 88 wishes registered. So that's very exciting. And we still have another week for more people to sign up. So please sign up and help out because there's lots of wishes. And in the question of the week, there's even more wishes. So let's have a look at those. So the first one is from Tommy Buck. He wishes that Santa would drop off some family tree DNA tests. Interesting, not just regular autosomal tests. He's looking for the big Y and the mitochondrial DNA. So he's looking to extend his paternal line with the big Y or his maternal line with the mitochondrial mtDNA. And I love the fact that for WikiTree, he wishes for an event template. So for those who are non-programmers, what that means would be a place where you could put in events that aren't the birth, marriage, death, but other events like baptisms or other life events, so that you can sort of populate, sort of flesh out, fleshed out a profile more. And there's been lots of discussion about that. Definitely some pros from programmers and app developers, but also some cons in terms of the complexity of the database and stuff. And all that information can be put in bios anyways. But anyways, nice wish, Tommy. I know there's people on your side about that as well. But anyways, fun.
Hey,
and standardized place names. Well, isn't that every genealogist's wish?
Greg, we have a wish from the peanut gallery.
Yes.
DDS says she wants a mentor of her own and a partridge in a pear tree.
Oh, I love it. That's great. A partridge in a pear tree. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Chris Ferriolo actually did a G2G post with the 12 days of wiki myths.
That was really clever.
Yeah. Pat Credit says, I can't be the only one on WikiTree with a brick wall that I wish was solved. Who are the Prussian-born parents of my maternal great-grandfather, Charles Hofer? That's an excellent wish. And Pat, I would suggest, if you really want that solved, one place you could do is you could take that wish and put it over on the G2G post for wishes accepted that was opened up last week. And if I had more than one screen, I would put the link to that in the chat, but maybe Megs can or Betsy can find that and do that for us. But so because that's the place where we're collecting all of the wishes that the elves are going to be working on. Now, if we solve all of those problems, then we might look at these wishes here, but I can't guarantee it. And in fact, I should say that even though your wish is on that other list, I can't guarantee that we'll actually get to all of them and solve them. I can guarantee that they'll all be considered and people will try, the elves will try their best over the 2 weeks of the Secret Santa Challenge to do as much as they can. But so I can't guarantee any of them will be solved, but we're going to try. So, and it'll be fun. We'll have fun in the doing it. Jonathan, time and organized space in my house to store physical memories and catalog them correctly. Oh, that's a good one. I'm willing to entertain the offer of a new house from a Secret Santa elf. Yeah, keep wishing for that one. I don't know if that's going to come true. I'd love to confirm the father of my paternal second great-grandfather, Leo. It's an Armstrong somewhere in South County, Wisconsin. Good wish there, Steve. I wonder, did you already add that on the other list? But excellent. Here's a neat one from Lori. I wish I had a Secret Santa elf that was fluent in the Czech language that could help me find relatives from Bohemia. Neat. And then part 1 and 2 of the American migration routes. Nice. Credits to Scotland's People. So that's a website that has gathers a whole pile of information for people from Scotland. It is a paid site, or you have to pay for credits to get access to some of the records, though a bunch of the information is on the open side. So that's what Brian, hey Brian, you're in the chat today, I know. So he plans to dig deeper into family members pre-arrival into Canada. He's also working on a side project where he's investigating a mystery where a whole township of Scots were cleared and then boarded on a ship but never heard from again. But he says the ship didn't sink. Is there a Bermuda Triangle?
Cool story.
That is very cool. That would be.
Well, no, he's speaking of the Highland clearances.
Right, the Highland clearance.
So they literally went in and moved entire villages. But that's a crazy cool story. Is there a book about it, Brian?
Yeah,
I would read that.
Maybe they ended up some other Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
No.
I think they're the ones in that have the crazy down east accent here in Canada. That must be them. The Newfies. They're the Newfies.
Oh no. Yes. So Ken's wish, I have 2 that will never be answered unless Elon Musk throws billions of dollars, a time machine to go back and see what really happened, and a teleporter to go to the place to check out local document holdings thousands of miles away, bypassing the airports. Those are nice wishes. Yeah. I'd love to have more resources about my folk ancestors. They're from La Carlota, Spain, and I can't move there. That was from Danielle. Tammy says, I would love to know the final resting place of my 3 times great-grandmother, Antis Canaday Joyner. She was born in 1835, Bradford County, Pennsylvania. Is that Pennsylvania? Yes. And married Oliver Bennett Joyner. And then she gives a little more details there. Sounds like a good wish for the elves to look at. An ancestry DNA test, more records uploaded from Napoli, and the ability to figure out what my ancestors' records say in Italian, Hebrew, Russian, Polish, and Yiddish. That's from Jennifer. So some of those languages, Deep L, which is one of the things I showed you a couple weeks ago, and Google Translate can translate. I don't know about Yiddish. Do they do Yiddish? Anyone?
I could go. My next door neighbor would do it for you.
Yes,
I'll
that's right.
trust you, though.
Yeah. The other languages for sure, but that's interesting. Newspaper.com for me and DNA test for my parents. Pam, very short and sweet. Pam is an elf, and I think she's also made a wish, so that's, I recognize Pam. Virginia Fields asked for one item that is on my wish list to finally solve my butters lineage in England and Scotland. And that research is my Christmas present from my husband this year. I sent the information to a recommended researcher, and she will tackle it in mid-January. Oh, that's great. Good for you, Virginia. I hope the researcher makes some headway on that brick wall for you. That would be neat. I'd love to have a membership to PRDH for the Quebec ancestors. And this is from Lisa Gervais. Add a crystal ball and some news sources in order to be able to break down some of the brick walls in Ireland, and more information on a Hessian soldier, Friedrich Christian Knapp, who settled in Quebec and then eventually moved to Ontario. And a DNA mystery. Oh, this is a long one from Suzanne, but oh, I feel her pain. Time with 400 people pulling me in 1,000 different directions at the same time. I was under the impression that life slowed down in retirement. I was hoping. It apparently is busier than a house full of 2-year-olds. I don't even have time to even breathe these days. Sorry, Suzanne. That's kind of my experience too with retirement, but for me, at least, the 1,000 different directions, most of them are ones that I enjoy doing and or said yes to. So the trick is to know which ones to say no to. I haven't mastered that one.
Yeah, Sophia is done. That is an absolute yes.
Yeah, that was a definitely absolute yes. And so that is making me put a bunch of other things on the back burner and go slower at stuff. I finally got around to doing some fan chart work this week. But anyways. That's another story. A year subscription to Ancestry, says Ken Hess. Thank you, Secret Santa Elves, for this opportunity, says Beverly Grow. I would dearly love a year's subscription to find my past and any information on Edward Clark. I don't have any Edwards in my adopted family tree, so I can't help you there. I have a Hugh Clark as his father, but this may not be correct. Dear Santa.
No.
What?
Sorry, I'm lagging, obviously, but I was just answering that. No, you probably don't have her Edward Clark.
No, I don't. So Lisa Mittelstedt says, Dear Santa, since you are magic, I would like the 1890 US Census, which I believe is mostly gone, right? An online indexed, fully searchable database of the collected records from all the French archives départementales. And use your time traveling powers to let my German ancestors know that naming their sons the same 5 given names, just in a different order, and then being whimsical and inconsistent about which names and what order they're used on each and every government document they encounter in life, makes untangling them when they inevitably get conflated a near impossible task. Yeah, that would be good.
You're at 10:14 there, Greg.
I know. Okay, I have several wishes.
Man.
I have several wishes. Some probably never be solved, but I thought I'd list them. And then Janine has listed them there. A bunch of brick walls. Now, for the wishes accepted, we're only taking one wish per wishee, just so our elves can spread the joy around as many people as possible. But good for you to be hopeful there. An African ancestry test from D. Greg Slade. I have enough brick walls. I could open a brickyard. I love that comment. And the final one, or at least it was the final one before, from Donna Gerber. I would really love to receive a special genealogy gift this Christmas. I really need help finding out where my great-grandfather James was born and was keeping my fingers and toes crossed, and would also love to have a genealogy mentor. That was Audrey, who you just mentioned. So that's it for me.
And if you want to have a Secret Santa elf work with you, check out the link at the bottom of the page, please.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it. That's exactly it. Anyways,
I'm sorry for the lag. Greg, have a great day. Merry
Yes, I
Christmas,
will.
and we'll see you January.
Merry Christmas.
We'll see you New Year's Eve party.
Yes.
Don't forget your champagne, your noisemaker, and your funny hat.
And funny hats. Okay, I'll try and find all of those things. Okay, I'll see you. And Els, I will see you this time next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye, Greg.
Oh. Okay, so if anybody is interested in doing the Santa Elf, please jump over to that link and do it. I am lagging like crazy here, so I'm just going to keep talking so it doesn't sound really weird. And I'm going to go over and add my screen. And guess what I'm going to do? And I'm going to do it so fast. You're not going to hit you. Oh, how did that stop? Let's share. It went away. It went completely away, all the way away. Let's try this again. Oh, I don't even. Oh, okay. There we go. Woo. Share screen. This is so fun. It's so fun to do it on a laptop. There we go. There we go. I have to pick it. There we go. Which business magnate are you most closely related to? That's what we want to know, people. Mark Cuban, John Jacob Astor. Didn't he go down with the Titanic? Was he a Titanic? Andrew Carnegie, Katharine Graham, Ingvar Kamprad, J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, Dave Thomas. That's the guy that created Wendy's, and he's an adoptee. So that's kind of an interesting thing to cue in for us. Toyota Sakichi, or should I say Sakichi Toyota? I don't know yet. We'll find out when we go to that page. Werner von Siemens and Madam C.J. Walker. So let's check out Mark Cuban. That was last week's challenge, and he's not in our list, or is he supposed to be the first person? See, it's my first time doing it. Let's check it out. Mark Cuban. Let's see what they did. Let's see how nice a job these people did on this wonderful profile. So he's got two stickers here, two actually project boxes, WikiTree challenge, and Mark Cuban is notable. Mark Cuban is an American billionaire entrepreneur. Every time I say the word billionaire this morning, drink your coffee or whatever you have. Television personality, media proprietor, whose net worth is an estimated $4.8 billion, according to Forbes. Boy, by billionaire standards, he's way back in the line, isn't he? Compared to Elon, and there's a new guy who's the richest man in the world just this week. Mark Cuban, born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 1958. So he's our age, meaning my age. Chabanisky Cuban, an automobile upholsterer, and Shirley Feldman Cuban, who had many occupations. His ethnicity, or its origins, it's not ethnicity, it's origins. Ethnicity is a construct. It's origins. It's where he was at the time his tribe moved through that area. He's Ashkenazi, which is the group of Jewish people who settled in mainly Europe. So that's the Ashkenazi. We learned that a couple of the live casts a few weeks ago. So his first business at age 12, selling garbage bags to pay for an expensive pair of shoes. Interesting. He went to Pittsburgh instead of a senior high school, year of high school. He married Tiffany Stewart in Barbados, choosing to keep the event private. They have several children. He's been a shark. It doesn't mention anything about the fact that he owns an NBA team, right? Doesn't he own an NBA team? Anyway. I guess if you want to know more about him, you can go check out his Wikipedia page. So you're going to have to be patient with me because I only have one screen. So that was that.
Mags, you are 20 degrees away from Mark Cuban. I'm 20.
Do you think I can call him and ask for a loan for Christmas?
Well, maybe show him the fan chart, the connection finder.
Yeah, maybe that'll work. So John Jacob Astor did not go down on the Titanic, but I think one of his descendants did. 1763 to 1848, he was born in Waldorf, Kurzplatz, Heiliges Römisches Reich. So the Holy Roman Empire, which was a part of Germany. He is the son of John Jacob Astor, Johann, and Maria Magdalena Vorfelder Astor. He died in New York City in 1848. He was a businessman, merchant, fur trader, investor who was the first prominent member of the Astor family and the first multimillionaire in the United States. His ancestor, J.J. Astor IV, who died on the Titanic. There you go. I knew that there was an Astor that was on the Titanic. John Jacob was born in Waldorf, son of a butcher. Moved to England as a teenager and worked as a musical instrument manufacturer. That should be something interesting to Greg and to Betsy. Yeah. Came to the U.S. in 1789, creator of the first trust in America, bank. He built a fur trading empire that extended to the Great Lakes region and Canada, and later extended into the American West and Pacific Coast. The American Fur Company, if you've ever heard of it. Their main purpose was to organize the trapping industry to capitalize on the monetary gain this would produce. Their main competitor was the Hudson's Bay Company, which is still going strong, although they're not doing fur trapping anymore. The Hudson's Bay Company was established business with trading posts and enjoyed good relationships with the indigenous populations and trading furs. So that's interesting. Beaver pelts and information. Pretty good profile with a nice picture of the fella. He's got the notable sticker there. He's got some fairly close DNA cousins. That's pretty good. That's nice. Let's go on to the next one. Let's see. Andrew Carnegie. Ever heard of Carnegie Hall? That would be this family, or the Carnegie Mellon Institute. I'm 14 cousins. Betsy, you don't have to find it. Oh. Look, it's popping up because I have the
browser extension.
Yeah, I have the WikiTree extension on. So, through my Stewart line. So that's fun. 14th cousin, 4 times removed, Andrew Carnegie. He was the son of William Carnegie and Margaret Morrison. He was born in Dunfermline, Fife, Scotland, to Margaret Morrison Carnegie and William Carnegie. And he died in Lenox, Berkshire, Massachusetts in 1919. Scottish-American industrialist who led the enormous expansion of the American steel industry in the late 19th century. Highest profile philanthropist of his era, and he had given away almost 90%, amounting to, in 1919, $350 million of his fortune to charities and foundations by the time of his death. And those charities, a lot of them are still going, like the Carnegie Mellon Foundation. Mm-hmm. So he started out his work. I always loved hearing. So Mark Cuban started out selling garbage bags to get a pair of shoes. Carnegie started as a telegrapher in the 1860s and had investments in railroad sleeping cars, bridges, and oil derricks. Well, he certainly picked the good places to put his money. And then he created the U.S. Steel Corporation. Interesting. So he was devoted the remainder of his life to large-scale philanthropy. And we have colleges and museums and libraries and everything that is associated with this great family. He was buried in Sleepy Hollow Cemetery in Sleepy Hollow, New York. Now, is that the famous Sleepy Hollow? I want to know. Look at that tartan.
I know. I was just going to comment on that. It's beautiful. I was trying to see which clan it is. Where's Pip?
Pip.
Handsome one.
He's got some good pictures, and he's got a Y DNA tester that's listed on here. I wonder why, because that surname is not matching that at all. Donald McDonald Dells. That's interesting. Somebody needs to check into that, because Andrew Carnegie's surname is Carnegie, unless he changed his surname at some point. Fascinating that he's got a person that's a Y-DNA match who is not the same, unless Donald McDonald Delves was a part of an NPE thing going on. Sorry, I won't do too much on the DNA. Moving on to Catherine Graham. How far am I? So 10:25. I got like 3 seconds left. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I didn't mention the time. Okay, Ingvar Theodor Kamprad, 1926 to 2018. Is he IKEA? Is this IKEA? Yes! Okay, so if you ever been to IKEA, you can thank Ingvar for that. He was born in 1926 in Sweden. See how I skipped over pronouncing all of that stuff?
Good job.
Yeah. His parents were Franz and Berta Nielsen. Nielsen's a very common name. And he died 27th of January, 2018. And as far as I've heard, he lived a very frugal life. I don't know how to put that. So he's a notable. And let's see, best known for his founding IKEA. And if you hear some of the commercials here, it's IKEA. A multinational company specializing in home furnishings. He started in business at the early age of 5, selling matches. He sold matches. That's crazy. I love seeing what they did to start. But 5 years old.
I know.
Then went on to expand into selling fish, Christmas tree decorations, seeds, ballpoint pens. And at 17, at his uncle's home, he founded IKEA. At the time, it was a mail order business and quickly grew into brick and mortar stores. Yeah, so for Christmas, send me all of your wood pieces and I'll pretend you're giving me an IKEA thing and I can pretend to put it together for Christmas.
Yes, and a cryptic piece of paper with a diagram.
Yeah, with a diagram just showing the wood with no lines or anything.
A few Swedish words on there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, all in Swedish. Ingvar was married twice and had 4 children, one of whom was adopted. Yay. Glad for that. He has a Wikipedia page, as well as CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcast Company, news interview. He's got a National Post interview. So you can go and check him out. Let's see if he has, no DNA testers to show yet. But there's a post about him in G2G if you want to check that out as well. Matches. He was making matches. Let's see what J.P. Morgan did as a child to become who he was. And upvote those answers to the, woo, I'm 6 cousins, 4 times removed. Maybe I can call them. Hey, I need some IKEA for Christmas. John Pierpont Morgan, 1837 to 1913, born in Hartford, Connecticut. Married twice, first time to Amelia Sturgis, second time to Frances Louise Tracy. He died in 1913 in Rome, Italy. He's got the great little notable sticker on his page and some good pictures. Quite the walrus mustache. American financier and banker, Wall Street, and the Gilded Age. Instrumental in the foundation of several prominent corporations, including U.S. Steel, International Harvester, and General Electric. He also had other interests in Aetna, Western Union, Pullman Car Company, and 21 railroads. He's been called by Adrian Wooldridge America's greatest banker. So Hartford, Connecticut, focused on math and history and German and French. His father felt there was a great value in those subjects. I imagine it did help him with deals with his company if he was doing deals overseas. Attended high school in Boston in mathematics, and then attended the University of Göttingen in Germany. Thinking that should have an umlaut on it. Let's see. He worked for his father and he was able to take over the family business, leading him to become one of the most influential financiers in the world. So as a kid, he worked at his family's business. I worked at my family business, both of them, as a kid, and I am not a billionaire. Just saying, just putting that out there. Highland Orange, New York City. Sons Louisa, or daughter Louisa, son John, Juliet, and Anne. That's interesting. Whoever put together this profile kind of put the information in the census record just kind of into a formula, unless they had the WikiTree. Which one is it? The plus? No, not the plus, but the wiki. There's a sources that Greg actually wrote, a sources extension that will actually write these sources up for you. And that looks like what they may have used, because they look pretty the same, but better than just saying he appeared in the 1875 census, blah. Mm-hmm. So there you go. And I can tell if it was Greg's extension by looking at the, yep. Nice. Got lots of great information there. Another picture. Oh my God, he's holding a knife.
Is he?
He's holding a knife. That must be a steel-bladed knife. That is a knife.
JP Morgan. So he is. Yes. There's no further detail on the photo.
I'm looking. I don't see anything. That's great. But it must be a stainless steel knife blade. That's all I can think. It was he looks pretty scary in the picture too.
I would not mess with him. Nope.
No, not with a man with a walrus. Oh, he's got some good he's got a mitochondrial
Wait, Mags.
Yeah.
Judy was saying she thinks it's a chair arm, and I'm looking at it again. Look at it again.
Oh, you're so right.
Yes. Good call, Judy.
Oh my gosh. It looks like a knife.
It really does.
Judy, good eye. Good eye. Oh, but hey, we like drama in the Saturday morning.
You're reading a serial murder novel, Mr. So.
I am reading a serial murder novel. I'm reading Nathan Dillon Goodwin's, got to look at it to tell you. The Sawtooth Slayer. Obviously I'm out at the cottage again. So wee doggy. Let's see. I jumped over Catherine Graham. I don't know why. Catherine Graham Meyer. Catherine May Meyer Graham. I'm 22 degrees from her. There's no connection. Dang. She was born in New York City. She married Philip Leslie Graham and died in Boise, Idaho. She's a notable because she's the owner and publisher of the Washington Post Company. Catherine Graham was one of the world's most powerful women. She led her business to financial success, becoming the first female CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And she was instrumental in some political stuff back in the 70s and the 80s. She pushed forward with publishing some crazy work by her writers that a lot of companies wouldn't have published because they were afraid of the political backlash. But she kind of stood up to the establishment and said, no, this is going on and we need to know about it. And she is a Presidential Medal of Honor, Medal of Honor, Freedom winner. Let's see. She went to Vassar College, to the University of Chicago. She worked in San Francisco and then married her fella in 1940. She assumed management of the Washington Post newspaper in the late 40s and led the Post for more than 2 decades. Under her leadership, the Post published numerous landmark articles, including the Pentagon Papers, which detailed the full extent of U.S. involvement in Indochina back to the late 1940s. The Post later published articles that exposed Watergate break-in and led to President Nixon's resignation. And she was the first female to head a Fortune 500 company. That, at 1940, to take over that business and run it successfully for 60 years is just incredible.
Yes.
Like, she published her memoir. So if you want to read that, you can do that. She's mentioned on a memorial in Oak Hill Cemetery, Washington District of Columbia. With the death date of the 17th of July, 2001. In 2002, she was presented posthumously with the Presidential Medal of Freedom and inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. That's cool. no listing the census records. So they kind of did things differently on this profile. They took all of the census information and created a section for it and put that information in there instead of trying to include that into the bio, which is kind of fun. You think about doing that every now and then if you have a ton of census records.
Yes.
Instead of just saying, oh, she was here, that's a good way of doing it. Mm-hmm. And here's our sources. Nice work. Yeah. Lots of good sources. She also has a Wikipedia page, and no DNA matches. I just like to see if there are DNA matches. Well, John, jump on up to John D. Rockefeller.
He's my closest, 14.
No way.
Yes, through his wife, and then it goes all one color. And then I have the relationship with me is like cousins several times removed. But
how many cousins?
Let's see. It is 7th cousin 4 times removed.
Wow. I think you could call. I think you should go up to New York and see if you can find somebody. John Davison Rockefeller Sr., 1839, Richford, Tioga, New York, married Laura Celestia Spellman Rockefeller. He died in 1937 in Ormond Beach, Florida, Volusia, Florida. Look at him in his top hat over to the right.
Love those top hats.
John Rockefeller Sr. is the ancestor of U.S. President, Vice President. So he's also a grandfather of Nelson Rockefeller. Friendship founded on business is better than a business founded on friendship. John D. Rockefeller. Cool how they have this one set up. His personality. Okay, so John D. Rockefeller Sr. was known for being a very serious man, but around personal friends and family, they knew him as being a funny guy with a great sense of humor. Rockefeller knew that in his line of work, all serious and playful acts have positive and negative reactions, and he knew how to handle this very well. That's interesting. Okay. Influence. One of the main influences in life was the Baptist preacher. Was to make as much money as possible and then to give away as much money as possible. And then philanthropy. Business was a big part, but philanthropy was also a big part. Sorry, a big snow blob just fell on the roof, startled me. He passed away in Ormond Beach. I like the way they did that information. I wonder where they got this information from, though. His personality. Did they get that from a book? Did they hear that in an interview? Mm-hmm. I would like to know what the source is for the information about the personality. Let's see. That's great.
I think about that often with people like Rockefeller, where there's so much information available. I mean, you could research for a year, and how do you condense it down to, a WikiTree profile? So I really like what they did, sort of hitting the highlights.
Yeah, I do too. They've got the Find a Grave, and then they have the Rockefeller Archive Center virtual family tree listed. Be interesting to find out more information about the personality, influence, and philanthropy sections. To see if there's some sourcing that might be added for that. That would be great. I like the way they did this profile, though.
Yeah,
I did. Let's see. There's some pictures here. Tory Ford, I guess they're out golfing. So that's fun. He's got a bit of a walrus mustache going on, too. That was very popular at the time. I like those. Let's go to the next one. Let's see. Dave Thomas, Wendy's. Wendy's, Dave Thomas. He was born in 1932, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Doesn't show his spouse or any other information because he's recently passed away, 2002 in Fort Lauderdale at the age of 69. He was born to a single mother. Our Dave Thomas was adopted as a 6-week-old baby by Rex Thomas in Oliva Sinclair of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Family unit was short-lived as his adopted mother died of rheumatic fever when he was 5. Wow. So travel became a big part of his life. as his adoptive father moved from town to town looking for work. Among the few constants in his early life were the summers he spent with his grandmother, Minnie Sinclair, on her farm in Michigan. Nice. He has credited her with providing him with a sense of security and teaching him the value of an honest day's work. After the death of his adoptive mother and 2 stepmothers, he traveled a lot with his father. So they're kind of repeating again the same stuff there. Moved to Fort Wayne, move again, refused to leave, and dropping out of school in 10th grade and going to work full time. And there he is holding, I'm like out in the middle of the woods and I cannot run out and grab a Wendy's burger now. This is rude to me. I'm just saying. Thomas served in the Army during the Korean War as the manager of an enlisted men's club. So that's how he figured out how to serve people. That's cool. Fort Wayne found his former boss at the Hobby House restaurant, owned some of the first franchises of budding Kentucky Fried Chicken chain. He offered them the opportunity in Columbus, Ohio, to turn around the restaurants, which were failing. So he started out working for the Colonel. That's fun. 35-year-old Thomas sold the franchises back to headquarters for $1.5 million. So I guess he made them a profitable turn. So he opened his own restaurant in Columbus and named it for his 8-year-old daughter. And this is in 1969. Wendy's became known for its square ground beef burgers that hang over the bun, made with the customer's choice of toppings. And everybody remember the little old lady at the counter going, "Where's the beef?" in those commercials way back in the day.
Was that Wendy's?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's the beef?
I remember. Yeah.
It was one of the most successful commercial offerings of all time. Where's the beef? So he became an advocate for children, especially those that were hard to place. Let's see. Despite his own childhood, he made up for lost time by starting a family, and he had 5 children. That's pretty cool. So there's a couple of pictures here of him. And that's obviously taken on the same day, or unless he wore the same tie and shirt for each one of his things. And I'm hungry now. I want a Wendy's burger. Somebody have a drone? You can send it to me by drone. Be a long flight. Let's see. And they've got some good sources down here too. And the See Also section. A lot of people don't know about the See Also section because that's really something that was automatically added to older profiles back in the day. But it works out well. But I don't put first like primary sources like a marriage record stuff. I don't put that in the See Also. If somebody has a find a grave I'll put that in the See Also. Or if somebody has a family history that's not published, I'll put that in the See Also. That's interesting.
Is that something where you would just put the 2 equal signs and See Also, and just when you're
it's another title heading. I think it's 3. It would be 3 underneath the sources as the main. That's an old one. So somebody might want to go and rearrange this so that the Wikipedia and the Wikidata were in the See Also section. And the Find a Grave I would put in the See Also section. But the rest of the stuff looks like primary stuff. That's a nice profile for a very recently deceased man. Nice.
DNA?
Do I think?
No, DNA. Do we have anything?
No DNA carriers yet. I wonder if he ever found out who his family was, who his real birth family were. Yeah.
And his daughter was named Wendy.
She took over the business. And I have to say, we have a newscaster here in Canada who was the lead anchor and editor for one of the biggest networks here, CTV. And she was kind of booted out last year. And it was right after she let her hair go from brown to natural gray. Stunning. She's a gorgeous woman and very intelligent. And she people were up in arms that Bell Media had fired this woman apparently because she had allowed her hair go gray. And Wendy's here in Canada changed the picture of Wendy's. They changed her from a redhead to a gray-haired person. I thought that was just perfect.
Yeah.
So Toyota, 10:45. I got to hurry. Oh, yeah. They intended this for Greg. Really. They intended this for Greg. I'm
Why?
assuming this guy is the, yeah. He was born in 1860. What'd you say?
No, I'm looking at it myself. Yeah. I think his
Can you
first
read
name
this?
is, well, no, I can't read, no, the characters, but I think based on the comma that his first name was Sakiti and the
Okay.
family name would be Sakichi.
So his first name was Sakichi and the last name was Toyota.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say because
Yeah.
that is the tradition for
Yes.
Eastern, yeah, for that. So he was Fuji district. And can you figure out what he started with his last name?
No, actually, what I did, I went to edit so I could look at the data field.
Yeah.
And so it says Toyota is other last names.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So his father was a carpenter and his mother was Mori. Younger brothers. He was an inventor, a businessman, and he founded a group of businesses that became Toyota, a corporation known worldwide primarily as an automobile manufacturer. It's a interesting, very well written, really. No DNA people, good photograph. And I like that his information is in his native language. I really do.
Mm.
But I also like that there's a biography written in English that I can read for today. I would love to have been here when Greg did this one. That would have been fun.
I like the picture.
Yeah.
Distinguished.
Okay, let me hurry up here. Werner von Siemens. He was born in Hanover, Germany, Deutscher Bund. In 1816, he married Matilda Emma Drumann, and then he married Antony Sophie Marie Siemens. He died in 1892 in Berlin. 1892 in the Deutsche Reich. So he's part of the Germany project. He had lamb chops and a big mustache. It's got an interesting picture there. Interesting biography. I like when the biography is really long, that it gets broken up into different sections so that I can find things quickly. There's a German, Führerjahr, Privatbaum and Berufsleben. His English was early years, private life, and professional life. So we're going to jump down to the English. You see, he's got the notable stuff. So he was ennobled in 1888. So he got the von added to his name. So it was Werner von Siemens after he was ennoblized. If you didn't realize that with Germans, that's how that works. You're a von if you do get ennobled. Mecklenburg, school for a long time by his grandmother and his father. He was an officer candidate and posted to Berlin. He studied engineering, and he received an extensive scientific education. Private life, professional life, electroplating was his patent. He owned that patent, and let's see, he was involved in defending Kiel, so he was in the army. He worked, he helped promote his advancements of the ABC telegraph that was Charles Wheaton's work. In 1848, the company built the first underground telegraph line between Berlin and Frankfurt. In the beginning of the 1850s, Russia commissioned the company to build their first state-run telegraph lines. Because of that, the company branch in St. Petersburg was opened, and a few years later, the branch in the United Kingdom. The Russian branch was led by Karl Heinrich Siemens von Siemens and the British Carl Wilhelm Siemens in the United Kingdom. The first supplier of Siemens was founded. So if you didn't know who Siemens was, they were a communications and electro electronics company that makes things. And if you go to a football stadium, you will see a lot of the Siemens work in that. So that's a nice profile, written in German and in English. And he's got Wikipedia as well, if you want to go check him out. And back to his picture with the lamb chops. And hopefully this will be the last one, and I need to get off here. Madam C.J. Walker. See the second. So Breedlove Walker. Delta, Madison, Louisiana, United States. She was married to Moses McWilliams, John H. Davis, Charles Joseph Walker. She is a member of the Black Heritage Project. If you aren't aware or you haven't checked out the U.S. Black Heritage Project lately, do that. Emma is doing amazing work with that project and getting things done. So Madam C.J. Walker was, if you see the ad over to the right, preparations. If you want beauty of complexion and loveliness of hair, tried Madam C.J. Walker's world-renowned toilet preparations. Now, toilet would be toilette from Louisiana. But she's a businesswoman, entrepreneur, best known for her tonic that helped hair growth. Her self-care products engineer empire made her the first self-made female millionaires and gave her the means to become an activist and philanthropist who helped thousands. So, and this is somebody who was born in the Delta, was born as a Black woman who became a huge millionaire. That's just incredible. At 14, she married early and had a child. Then she married again, and then again to a newspaperman in St. Louis. She started her company in Denver with a product for hair growth she marketed as revealed to her in a dream. With the help of her husband and daughter, for a year and a half, she sold her products door to door as demonstrations and finally by mail order. She did so well, she opened a training school in Pittsburgh and then moved her operations from Denver to a new industrial complex. So that's great. She's got a great profile here with great sources. Don't sit down and wait for opportunities to come. You have to get up and make them. That's her quote.
I love it.
That's great. And that is the profiles of the week. Over to you, Madame.
Sure. Yeah. I'll just put one PS on the conversation about Toyota. Toyota is this is a great example of with Asian surnames, you just have to go by the characters.
Yeah.
And so people were saying in the chat, oh, it's just a different spelling. Absolutely. Like a great example of that is the Chinese name Li. So
right.
You might see people over here, Lee or Li. But if you ask them, well, what is the character for your name? It would be identical.
Oh, wow.
So it's just that's why you absolutely have to go by the characters, because the English transliteration, I mean, there's multiple ways you could go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you guys don't forget to upvote this video for us. Lisa Gervais, thank you very much for reminding us of that. And Angie says that Madam CJ is a favorite historical figure. I like her a lot too. I do too. What gumption. I'm going to grow your hair, ladies. All right.
All right. I'm going to go to.
And we don't have a time limit, so you do as long as you need
to. All right. Because the theme for the photos this week is Christmas, and we have animals, we have children.
You might want to make your screen full screen as well.
Yep. Wait a minute. What does it look like? I see.
You got it? I'm not a Mac person, but
oh gosh.
For Windows, we've got a little box that says, I think there's a Control M.
Well, okay. That didn't work. I'm having a moment.
Stephen, you're so right. Santa will be able to find me, except unfortunately, I won't be here unless I could talk the rest of my family to come up, and that would be fun. I've been actually daydreaming about that. All right.
I'm still not.
Maximize. Let me look it up real quick while you just go ahead, and I'll tell you in a sec.
Thank you. Yeah. The weird thing is I did it in preceding weeks and I'm having a moment.
That's okay.
Okay.
Maximum, press and hold the Option key while you click the green button in the top left corner of an app window.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes. Okay.
Or press Command M.
All right. Yeah. How does that look?
Oh, better.
Okay. Thank you, Max.
Hey, ain't nothing but a thing.
It's been a rough week.
And as Azure's here, she says it's the little green dot in the upper left of the browser window.
Okay. So how does this look? Size good?
That's great.
Great. Okay. So let's see who I have to remember who this is from. These two photos are from Mark Weinheimer. And the first one is from his paternal grandparents, a Christmas celebration in Buffalo, New York. And then we have, I love those dresses. And then his maternal grandparents at Grand Island. And there's a lot of really wonderful detail in this photo. Someone was in the comments was talking about the engraving, the little verse that's on the mantle, the knickknacks, just the expressions on people's faces, the furniture people were commenting about. Really great. This is from Alexis Nelson, and I think these are pictures from her husband's family when they were little children. So we've got a little boy getting a trumpet. And there was debate about opening Christmas gifts in your pajamas or dressed. And then somebody said, well, this was Christmas that year was a Sunday, so they must have gone to church beforehand and then headed over to their grandparents. Max, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, it was so silent.
I'm reading, and Stephen Tomasowicz says that they have that 3-tiered table.
Oh, yes. Yes, this one right here. Yeah. No, I had a sudden fear I was just talking to myself.
Chris Ferriello says he has a new blog, and he's got some Christmas picks up for that. So you guys can check that out.
This is Pat Miller telling Santa what she wants.
I'd like a white Christmas, please. Oh, thank you.
Great beard on this Santa. And this is, I think, is it John Vasky? And
cute.
John is the baby, and that is his great grandfather. Looks like December 65?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. What a cutie.
What a cute little baby.
Now this is an extremely cool one. This was France, 1917.
Wow.
We have a cat for Sarah. This gentleman in the middle is holding.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I wonder if the picture was folded at one point.
Yeah, it does look. Yeah, like this seam along the middle was fold. Yeah. The man seated on the right is John Mason, who later married my grandfather's sister's Irene. This Joyce Vanderbogert. Yeah. They didn't have any children, but Uncle John was always Santa Claus at church Christmas parties.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bye, Jory.
Bye, Jory. Let's see. Okay, this image is a scan of the cover of a program for the musical White Christmas 2010, in which I played the Bing Crosby character from the movie Bob Wallace. All right. There we go.
Oh, fun.
Yes. Who put this up again? Mark Williams.
That's fun.
I love how they put them in a snow globe.
Carson City Community College.
Yes. 2010.
That's
Nice.
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I love that movie.
Okay, let's see. This is
Who was
John
that?
Thompson. John Thompson. Pointing, he said he
Yeah, I
was.
want to go back to my mom. She's right there. I want to go back to her.
Yeah. Someone was saying he was pointing the way to his house, but I think you're right, Max. Give me back to mom. And then I snuck this in last night, right before I went to sleep. This is my grandmother and my mom. I think it must have been a little tree in her bedroom. And my mom loves bears. So she's got a Santa bear and some other sort of bear. So that was Christmas, probably about 1945. Then we do have a few on the other page. This is where I always have trouble. Okay. Start, present, share screen. Okay.
I love that we get to look at these great pictures, and that there was a cat for Sarah.
Yes.
And that there's been a deer. I haven't seen the deer, but there's deer tracks right along the water's edge, right below the cottage. But I haven't seen the deer yet. And yesterday I noticed there were tracks coming off the ice on the lake onto the beach here underneath here. And I'm wondering, it must have been a water beast, because the tracks go one way out into the lake and into the water. So, because the ice is not very thick, you wouldn't want to really actually be walking on this ice. And definitely no snowmobiles on this ice yet. So literally nobody's going to be bothering me for a few days yet. If I could only talk my family into coming up, grab a turkey, grab the fixins, and come on, and let's have our holiday here. There you go, Betsy.
Okay, thanks. All right, so there were just a few. This one I really loved. Someone did sort of like a family tree arrangement
Cool.
of all their family photos.
A Christmas tree of ancestors and a wish for my WikiTree family. How cool.
Yeah. And it almost said, the way it makes it look is, yeah, like descendants from.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And the frames are beautiful.
Who did that?
I don't know who did that.
If we look hard enough, we can see the reflection in the window.
Yeah. All right. Oops, I know. I really have a problem when I go full screen.
That's okay. They're coming back to get you again.
I know.
And I know it's the guys in the little white coats.
That's right. 2004.
Did I show my view to everybody? I can do that again. Ooh, I got to unplug to do it. There we go. There we go. See, filling in that space. Now I have to cross over to the other window. Pretty good view, hey? Yeah, it is nice. I actually came up because there was a storm moving in. So I came up to be here before the storm hit, and then I've been here for the 2 days that the storm's been going on. It's supposed to be over tonight, so there's still snow coming, supposedly. Got a good, I can't even show you how deep it is. It's deep enough that I have to shovel my way out of the cottage up to the snow, to the wood pile. So, oh yeah, John, Yeah, you guys had snow over that way.
Well, I'm trapped.
That's okay.
I can
That's okay. We can wrap this up right
Yes,
now and just say
I can hear you, but I'm trapped on that picture and I
that's
can't.
okay.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, everybody. Have a great holiday, whatever you celebrate. Hanukkah starting, Kwanzaa's coming up, and obviously Christmas as well. And we're going to be here not on the 24th. We are
Yes.
not going to be here on Christmas Eve because there's other stuff going on, like, you know, family. But we will be here. So bring your funny hat, your noisemaker, your champagne. There will be games and other things afoot for the live cast on New Year's Eve. So come on, and we'll see you then. And let me get the information up here, and I'll play us out. We'll see you guys on New Year's Eve. Bye.